And the family of one of the Alabama men captured in Ukraine says the U.S. State Department has spoken to him and he is doing, quote, okay. The two Americans were taken by Russian forces during a battle north of Kharkiv earlier this month. Meanwhile, President Biden says the U.S. will increase its military presence in Europe, establishing a permanent headquarters in Poland. Foreign correspondent Tom Burridge joins me live now from Kyiv, Ukraine, with more on this. Tom, how significant is this move by President Biden, and what impact could it have on the war?
It's hugely significant, Diane. We're seeing a ramping up of the U.S. military presence across Europe. This is less about impacting the war directly here. It might help the U.S. train Ukrainian forces in neighboring countries, but more, it's really about deterring Russia from taking action against NATO member states in Europe, particularly the Baltics. We'll see more U.S. troops there. That, analysts believe, is the biggest threat. Countries like Lithuania. Zelensky saying in his speech to the NATO summit today that really those types of countries are in Russia's crosshairs too, and that was his pitch to the NATO summit for more support, more weapons, more financial support. He wants $5 billion from the US and its allies every month. He says the sovereignty of independent European states is at stake.
Now, Tom, yesterday, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg called the war in Ukraine the most serious security crisis Europe has faced since World War II. Is there an end in sight? What's the latest on negotiations between Ukraine and Russia?
They're limited, I think, Diane, and I think this is what I normally say to people who probably don't know Ukraine that well, is that there is a lot of talk in capitals like Paris about whether or not a diplomatic solution can be negotiated at this point. We've heard the words of President Macron recently talking about whether there is a compromise that might be available at some point, despite their solid support for Ukraine. And the reality is for the Ukrainians right now, and Ukrainian officials will say this publicly too, is that they really don't see a way out of this at the moment through diplomacy. You've got to remember that Russia started a war in the east of Ukraine via proxies 8 years ago. The Ukrainians then went into very contracted and prolonged negotiations with the Russians, which were called the Minsk negotiations, and it absolutely led to nothing. Actually, it led to the invasion that we saw back in February and the destruction which Russia's invasion is bringing to the country right now. And that's why there's no appetite here in Kyiv, really, for any kind of diplomatic solution right now. They say, and they pitched this, Zelensky, to the NATO summit today, they say Russia can only be defeated on the battlefield.
And, Tom, what more do we know about the conversation the State Department had with Alex Druke, one of the Americans captured in Ukraine, while he was volunteering with Ukrainian forces?
Well, we're learning this, Diane, in an interview with his mother and his aunt given to ABC News. Effectively, they're saying that they've been told that Alex Druke is being treated humanely by his captors, that he is in a good state health-wise, and they were able also to pass a message to him. Officially, though, we're still getting few details about whether there is any discussion about whether or not he can be released at any point, and so I guess for now we're in the dark about that.
All right, Tom Burridge in Kyiv, Ukraine. We appreciate it, Tom. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.